It's 21 minutes past the hour. Welcome back to Breakfast Time with Tom, Joseph Buell sitting in for Lori, Bob the Puppet, and me, Jim. I'm the announcer, and here's Jill and Bob.
Yeah, thank you.
So now we're going to, where are you?
Right here behind the chair.
Well, we're going to join Suzanne Wang in Titusville, Florida, who's visiting with a tiki carver, Wayne Coombs. Hi.
It's actually Huang, but I'll forgive you, Jill. That's okay.
I'm sorry, Wang. Where am I from?
So the ancient art of tiki carving, actually, nobody really knows when it all originated, but we do know that it originated back in the Polynesian islands thousands of years ago. They've been used as idolatry figures, masks for harvest, and masks for protection. And I'm back here with somebody who's continuing this ancient tradition. Thanks for joining us, Wayne Coombs.
Thanks.
So now how did this all start 20 years ago?
Me personally, just by seeing the great ones done from Hawaii and stuff like that, the big classic Polynesian tikis.
Now, I understand that you've taken traditional carvings and you've made your own classifications, right?
Right. We have different types. This one on the left here is called the guard. It's our stowed face. The centerpiece here is the joker. That's our funniest tiki.
Okay, and what about this one over here?
This toothy guy here is our warrior. He's our most aggressive face tiki.
Jim Carrey.
And you also have masks that you've made from husks of trees as well. Now, I understand that you only use Florida state palm trees. That's the state tree, correct? Sable palms, and they're never alive when you take them, right?
That's right. They're always dead.
Okay, now go ahead and show us the roughing out process. Now, once he finds a piece of wood, Jill, that's wide and straight and been aged and dried out for a year, he starts by roughing it out with this axe-type looking thing, correct?
I'm a tiki man.
Get the bark. I get down to the bark, take the bark off, and get down to the wood so we can get to where we can carve the tiki.
Okay, now after you do that, then you actually use a saw and then a chisel and hammer to do the actual features, right?
We rough it out with a chainsaw and get the main cuts in it, and then we go back in with the chisel and the mallet and detail it.
Okay, go to work. Now, is there any specific technique that you use to do this? Is there any certain method that you're using?
Deep cuts, real deep cuts.
Now, do you also make small tikis like the one that Greg Brady had on the Brady Bunch? Yeah, you do?
Of course.
Okay, now how long does the whole process take from start to finish?
About the full day.
Okay, don't stop carving though. We got a time limit here. Now, when you're done carving, what are you doing right now?
Lens crafter.
Knocking you out.
Yeah.
You're knocking the eye out?
Inside of the eye out, right.
It's actually a mating ritual.
Pardon me, Jim?
It's actually a mating ritual. You knock the eye out.
In your
Exactly.
family.
And now you're doing,
The nostrils.
and then there is some sort of finishing touch that you do at the very end of this process, correct?
What I do is I
You
get the
tighten
torch
around the ears, yeah.
and burn the deep parts dark for contrast and color. Let me show
Okay, he's going to show us the final process. You have to blowtorch this. Do I have to stand out of the way?
you. You'll be all right. You'll be
I'll be all right. Okay, here we go. I better be all right.
Wayne? Well, he can't hear me.
later.
You have a question, Jill?
He's tall. How tall is he?
Yeah.
Okay, so now you blowtorch this, and that, what does that do? It gives it a dark color?
Those are all the shadows. And, burns off all the extra wood and gives it color and contrast.
Yeah.
And the way you decide what parts to torch is just an artistic choice?
Usually where the cut is.
And Tom wanted to know if we're going to see if this thing can float, but I don't think you'd want to do that, would you?
I think it would float, but I don't want to find out. It is wood, you know.
Yes, it is wood. And that's what he does, and that's the final process. I actually kind of think this guy looks like Scottie Pippen. What do you think?
I didn't say that.
Well, anyway, thank you very much to Wayne Coombs for showing us all about the ancient art of tiki carving.
Yay.
Thank you, Suzanne. Thank
Well,
you.
we never found out. Yeah, that was a good question, Jill. How tall is he, Suzanne?
Yeah.
How tall is the tiki, or how tall is Wayne?
Oh, either
Wayne.
one.
How tall are you, Wayne?
I'm 6'8".
He said when he met me, we've got the tall and the short of it right here.
There you go.
Tiki's about 6'10".
That's right. We'll get further updates now as we check in on some of today's top stories.
I'm Jeff Probst with headlines for Saturday, December 2nd. In Washington, House Speaker Newt Gingrich has reportedly decided to lower his public profile in favor of less controversial Republicans. The Washington Post reports that Gingrich decided to, quote, bench himself and let others play. Meanwhile, the Reverend Jesse Jackson is getting back into the game. Jackson is reportedly returning as head of Operation Push. the Chicago-based civil rights organization. In California, a court commissioner says O.J. Simpson's kids are in a very unique circumstance. He's closed their guardianship case to the public. He'll seal the records and keep hearings private. New York has become the first state to require that kids under the age of 14 wear safety helmets while inline skating. Under a law signed by Governor Pataki today, the law also requires manufacturers to put warning labels on the skates, urging users to wear protective gear. That's the news for this break. We'll have more news later. Here's Jim with a look at today's weather.
It's another cold, crisp, clear day for a football game. And I'm sorry, I'm doing the weather. That's right. But we do have a lot of clear, spiky yellow balls almost all over the country. We have a little bit of snow along the northern border and a little more rain in the northwest, unfortunately. But look at all the spiky yellow balls on this map. So it tells you that even if you have to bundle up, at least there's the sun in your face. Let's look at those high temperatures. And as you can see, we have a little Casper the Friendly Ghost of 70s. Just think about him as if he's lying on his back, looking up at the sky and saying, that's the weather.
You want to read this fax?
Okay, this fax just came in. Hi, Jill. Mention my name again. Mom.
Yeah, but whose mom is it?
It's her mom.
Yeah, oh, okay.
Yeah. Our visiting viewers, Petra and Joe Paratori from Hartsdale, New York, are helping us out with something as we go to break. Right, Jim?
That's right. Getting men to pitch in on housework and how you can pitch in with FX, Milton Bradley, and Parker Brothers by donating a toy to your local Toys for Tots program. Coming up on Breakfast Time.
You're born, you live, you die. Along the way, you meet a lot of people. Most of them you just lose track of, but some you'd actually like to see again. That's why there's Lost and Found. Reuniting people who've lost track of each other.
Do we look the same?
From New York to Vegas to Paris, France. FX, TV with you in mind. Hooking up the planet one reunion at a time. Lost and Found, tonight at 8, 7 Central, only on FX.
These guys are persistent.
Well, they're no match for the world's first sport utility wagon.
Oh, really?
All-wheel drive Subaru Outback's got more headroom than a Cherokee.
Uh-huh.
The ground clearance of an Explorer.
So you said.
Ride smooth as any car.
Got any more of those tidbits?
What, like more stability in a turn than a Chevy Blazer?
Sure, that'll do.
That's my Subaru Outback. World's first sport utility wagon.
You're reading cereal. Congratulations. You're trying applesauce. Congratulations. You're ready to graduate from starter formulas to Carnation follow-up formula. No formula is more nutritious. It's rich in calcium for healthy bones. And it's priced up to 20% less than the leading formulas. So dig in. You've graduated to Carnation follow-up formula. The right formula at the right time. Also available in soy.
These have always brought me luck.
White Diamonds, the intriguing fragrance from Elizabeth Taylor.
America, you're having too much fun with this instant cream of wheat thing. Becky added berries, and it bloomed, and Billy had a ball with maple syrup. Yum! Hot cereal's supposed to be boring, but with cream of wheat, anything goes in an instant.
Silver bells! Silver bells! Silver bells! Silver bells!
Look what's popping up at Burger King. Toy Story puppets from Disney's latest adventure movie, now in theaters. Get all 4 high-quality puppets for your kids. $1.99 each with any great-tasting value meal.
Ring-a-ling! Hear them sing. Soon it will be Christmas Day!
Get ready for Untamed Weekend, because it's not just wild, it's hot.
You're sweating. What about it?
Okavango, Swiss Family Robinson, and Grizzly Adams are so hot, they'll leave you speechless.
Boom, bang, hot!
Dazed, and thirsting for much, much more.
Nothing like Okavango's spring water.
FX makes it easy to get the wild weekend heat you're craving.
I'm going in my new Corvette.
Do the wild thing. Catch the heat of Untamed Weekend, exclusively on FX.
It's 29 minutes to the top of the hour. Welcome back to Breakfast Time with Tom. Joseph Buell sitting in for Laurie. Bob the Puppet and me, Jim. I'm the announcer, and here's Tom.
Wait a minute, I'm going to go to this guy's camera. So anyway,
the quality
we've got
will be better.
October. The audio's better anyway, you're right. October Project. Only kidding, Rob. October Project is here with us. And they were warming up during the break. Are you in for a treat?
Oh, yeah.
Right now, if you, like Bob and Jim and I, are a guy, even noted producer Paul Shabelson, you probably would take issue with this article in Red Book magazine that says 2/3 of couples are double-income couples, and that's despite that, women are still doing 2/3 of the housework.
Yay!
Yeah, what? Like that's a bad thing, right?
Yeah, we do our part. We make the mess.
That's right. Nathan Newman, our relationships expert, is over here with Jill and Jack the dog, who makes a mess on his own occasionally, don't you little son of a... And some of our road warriors and the whole gang all here. How are you, Nathan?
Good. Thank you all for being here.
All right. Now, the way I read the items, did you read the stuff about his segment, Jill? Did you happen to glance at that this morning?
It was on the top, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
The way I read it, your whole segment is designed to tell women how to trick us into doing the housework.
There's a little bit of that in there. I mean, it seems like a really simple thing, but it's a little more complicated maybe than people give it credit for. There are reasons that men are uncomfortable doing housework other than the obvious. And it starts, I think, with a generational thing. Because in our families' homes and so forth, our mothers did most of the picking up, and that's kind of what we grew up with, and that's what we're used to, that's what we're accustomed to. The other aspect is the emotional versus the practical. In other words, it's somewhat emasculating at times for a guy to have to be down on his knees, scouring out the toilet or whatever. It's not a question of whether it's his work or woman's work, because it's not. But we sometimes feel like our role is provider and hunter-gatherer and all this, and when we're down there doing this, I'm the man, why am I doing this?
We're out bagging deer, for heaven's sake. That's what we should be doing.
But, meanwhile...
So what if we go to singles bars to do it nowadays?
But, the thing is, our wives, mothers, whatever, are working too, but somehow we don't seem to get it through our heads that they're working, we have to help with more of the housework.
Yeah, we're intelligently stupid. We don't get it.
Jim, start rustling those papers.
Yeah, well, I'm getting scared by this whole segment.
Okay.
Me too, that's all right.
So that's, and also the media is guilty of this too. Wouldn't you agree that most of the commercials that have anything to do with taking care of the home, taking care of the house, always show women doing it? Always show housewives, always show women doing laundry, cleaning, etc.
Yeah, and it reinforces this sort of helpless strategy which guys tend to use the most, which is like, even guys who are big executives or foremen at their factories, when they get home, it's like they have to change a diaper or, put on the vacuum cleaner. Honey, how do I do this? And that kind of thing. So, but there are ways to deal with that strategy. Okay. The helpless thing, I think men are problem-solving oriented. So if you explain to them, this is the task, and these are the tools you're going to use, without being condescending or patronizing, just let him do it. You can do it, then it should work that way. Another thing is to start him with his little area of his life, his own laundry, maybe the den that he hangs out in, something like that. Get him working there a little bit. Then you can sneak a few things in.
Nathan, there are women watching, and please feel free, Jill and Gwen and our visiting viewers and Patricia and Jill Buell. Women are thinking, I'm guessing, why do we have to do this? Why do we even have to do lessons in cleaning up?
Anybody else want to answer that? No, I want to hear from some of the women on this one.
Well, my husband does his work because for years and years I've been making him feel guilty, and now happily he does it. And we both have jobs, so it's no excuse for me to do all the work.
I was going to say that's one of the best strategies to use. Another one is some kind of reward in terms of, if you think of the money,
give him a treat.
Well, there's a lot of rewards, some we can talk about. But if you put the money aside and say, like, we'll use this to do something else, the money we would have spent on a maid or housekeeper or so forth.
Or husband yummies.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what? Actually, you're onto something, because what has worked with me when I have been lax in that is my wife just saying, look, this isn't fair. This just isn't fair.
And I think we recognize it, it gets through to us. It just takes a little bit because we're conditioned not to always...
That and the couch.
Yeah.
I mean, the bottom line is you're in this together. You need to work together on it.
All right. Nathan Newman, our relationships expert on how to trick guys into doing housework. Thank you, Nathan.
Yeah.
Oh, it's me. So, Jim.
Yes.
So, Jim, what do we do now?
Late November is the perfect time for October Project, and we'll prove it coming up on Breakfast Time.
As a Hollywood stuntman and bounty hunter, the fall guy...
It's 21 minutes to the top of the hour. Welcome back to Breakfast Time with Tom. Jill Sobule sitting in for Lori. Bob the Puppet and me, Jim. I'm the announcer. And here's Jill and the October Project.
So I get to interview a band, which is so hard for me to do. And these guys are great because there's so much crap out there that these are one of my favorite bands. So I want to ask you the typical ones. What are they? How'd you get your name? What are your influences? Blah, blah, blah. But you want to talk about the song you're going to play?
Well, this song is called Funeral in His Heart, and it's sort of a sad song lyrically, but it's got sort of a peppy tune.
Yeah, I like that. Ironic. So do you guys like my music?
No. I'm a huge fan. I had Houdini's box on repeat, so it would play over and over and over again.
Yeah, Jill, you're something. We've all seen you live.
Oh, good.
It's great. You're doing, in fact, you're as good live as a singer as you are today.
But enough about me. What do you think of me?
What are you? Here's Jill.
No, you guys, and you worked with a great producer, Peter Collins.
Peter Collins, yeah, he's a friend of yours too, right?
Yeah. And you know, we have friends in common.
Yes, we do. We have many friends in common, all of whom want us to mention this.
Yeah, but which songs of Jill's do you like?
All of them, every single one.
There you go.
So I guess it's time. You guys want to play?
Yeah.
You want to sing the song?
Yeah.
Okay. Bye.
He had a dream haunting him at night.